Hi guys! Okay, so review of the Chanel Brow Kit. Now this, I think, retails in Canada for maybe between $70 and $80. So it is a bit of an investment, and I'd always seen it throughout the years, and for some reason when you went to a Chanel counter and you would see it, there'd be like this hard crud and crust all over it all the time. So it would be like, well, what the heck would I want to spend money on that? Obviously it has a very, very short lifespan, and it's totally, you know, like gross. Like, who wants to see makeup that looks like that? I really don't get it. So anyways, and then I kept hearing about it sort of throughout the years, and finally I sort of delved into it a little bit more, and did a little bit more research on it, talked to a few people about it, and anyways, I'll show you what it looks like. It looks like that. So it's a pretty mirrored. Okay, so it comes with this because it's black on black, so you can't see. So that's a little brush to brush your little hairs. Comes with a little set of tweezers, and it comes with this little brush, which is very, very stiff. I think that's the key to this product is, actually, you know what? I'm going to stop this for just a quick sec to bring out what I usually use with it, because I don't tend to use that little brushity-do. Okay, hold on. Woohoo! I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So, right. Now, as you can see, there is 3 colors in there. So there's sort of like a blonde, sort of a brown, and a black. My camera's not picking it up, but it is definitely 3 different shades, the last one being the darkest, the black one. And I guess the whole thing about this is that it's sort of a waxed based brow, but the different effect, like, okay, right now I have the shoe on just because I was in a bit of a rush, and it's really, really, you know, quick and fast and easy for me to do it. Those are my shoe ones. And as you can see, they do tend to look drawn on. The thing about this, when I use it, now it does take longer, because it's not just a pencil that you can quickly draw on, and certainly with this type of pencil, because it's got such a broad surface face, it's much quicker. With this, it would probably take 3 or 4 times longer, which isn't, you know, to say that it takes forever. It takes less than 5 minutes, that's for sure, but it takes more than the 30 seconds it usually takes. It gives you a much more natural, softer brow. And it really does mimic, it doesn't mimic hair, but rather than it being this pronounced, it just sort of, it diffuses it and just gives you a much more natural, natural finish. And I love the effect of it. You know, there's some days or evenings where you want to spend a little bit more time on your makeup, or, you know, you have a meeting or something that's a really important event that you just want to look completely polished. That's when I use this. For my everyday thing, I just use my shoe because that's also a holy grail. But with this, it's really, it just does give you a different effect. Now, the reason why there was always crud on top of it is that this does not mix well with any type of oils or moisturizer or any of that stuff. And of course, because I use almost now exclusively argan oil, you know, you will get that sort of crudding, and because you have natural oils where your brows are, because there's hair follicles, so you certainly have, you know, oils there rather than in other places where you're a lot drier. So that was sort of my main concern when I talked to them about it. But they sort of gave me the key, which is, even when you do get that, I don't know if you can see it. I think you can right there. See how you can see that there's a little bit of something on top of it? You can get quite a few wears. And then what I do is I just take, you know, my little metal spatula that I use for mixing stuff. And all you have to do is you do the tiniest scraping, and it almost turns it into a loose powder. And so, and it's not wasting it, because I actually use that loose powder. And again, it's not for every time. After maybe 5, 6, 7 times you use it, then I'll do a little scrape, and I'll actually use that powder that I've just scraped off, and it gives you the exact same effect. So either way, it's not a completely different look when you do that. And I notice the way that you use it as well. I use the Laura Mercier Brow Pencil Duo. This is for when you have little tiny bald spots, and then obviously this is very similar to the Chanel applicator that they give you, which I will show you right now, which is that. Ooh. They're very similar in density. This is a very, very dense brush. Now, she may or may not have discontinued this. Perhaps you can find that on eBay or somewhere. I'm hoping that she hasn't, because it's not like the MAC ones where they're very, very soft. These are much, much stiffer hairs. And that's sort of what you need. And rather than sort of taking it, oh crap, rather than taking it like this, like you would maybe a normal brow pencil, but what I do, let me get rid of all these accoutrements there. So what I do is I do this. I push it on both sides. So I don't know if you can see that. Can I show it to you this way? So I push it on that side and I push it on. So it's almost like if this was your little yard at winter time. Here's my crazy stupid analogy metaphors, right? So, and you were shoveling snow off of your little yard that is your brow or something. But you basically take the edge of the brush and you scoop. So you're almost sort of shaving it off. And usually after I put on my makeup, I just take a little bit of Q-tips or a tissue and I just wipe my brows of any kind of moisturizer, foundation, any of that stuff. I want it to be as dry as possible. And I'll actually even put a little powder after I've set this. I'll just sort of set my brows, sort of run it through with the brush, and then sort of prep it to use this product because you know, I don't want those oils to get into here. So once I do that, it's short, tiny little brush strokes rather than sweeping motions where I'm used to with my shoe. I'll sort of sweep it. This is tiny. So you're almost mimicking the hair, and I will use this middle color to sort of shape it out, and then I'll use the dark color to sort of go over it. And the effect, well, darn it, I should have just had it in this video, which I tried to use the product that I'm talking about, but of course, like I said, I'm trying to do as many videos at one time. So when I do another video in the future, I will definitely show you that I'm wearing the Chanel brow powder rather than my shoe pencil. What else can I tell you? So you can shave it. This honestly would probably last you 5 years longer, maybe years and years and years. The Chanel girl told me that she's had hers for over 3 years and she's hardly made a dent. You can't even tell. So, you know, that $70, $80, I'm sure it's less for you in the States, but that $70, $80 really is sort of an investment because you don't have to buy another brow kit for years and years down the road. What else can I tell you about it? Is there a fragrance? No, there's really not a fragrance. I think it's just a really, really good investment. I think you will notice the difference in terms of if you're used to using a pencil. I don't know. I actually think it does. When I had the Laura Mercier Brow Powder Duo, this actually did give me a different effect as well because it's got a bit of that wax. So you kind of, it's like a dual product. It's really, really great if you have little bald spots. It does cover that really nicely. And like I said, the brush is great. You don't have to go out and buy a different brush, and it may be harder for you to find one that sort of thick bristled. And perhaps Chanel even comes out with their own sort of full-sized one. But I think it's a great little set. I'm not a huge fan of Chanel. I'm going to put that right out there. Well, I should have started that in the beginning. I'm putting that at the end, but I'm not. I'm not a big Chanel fan. I just found a lot of their products are not worth the money. They don't agree with my skin type or my skin tone, but this is definitely one of the really, really good Chanel products. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to comment. Like I said, I always try and get back to you. It may take a little bit more time, but I will always get back to you. And if you have other suggestions on how to use it, I love hearing about that as well. So hopefully you found this helpful, and I will see you soon.